Welcome to the Tire Couch Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch, and as usual, my co-host, Mike.
Yo.
And first time on the show, my buddy Jacob from Canada.
What's going on, guys?
Across the pond, made of ground and trees. Yeah.
Land of the syrup.
Land of the syrup. Do you actually enjoy syrup up there?
Oh, a lot.
A
the
lot?
Maple syrup we get up here is, it's really good.
Okay, better question. Maple flavoring. What if it is not in the syrup form?
Yeah, like we have these cookies that are just like maple cookies. They're just the shape of a maple leaf, and it's basically like an Oreo, but it has just maple cream inside instead of vanilla. So it's actually really, really tasty. I do enjoy it.
I don't know if I'd like it because I don't like oatmeal pies. And that sounds like a maple oatmeal pie. If you know what those are.
Yeah, there's this. Yeah, I know what those are. It's not like soft or anything like that. And the cream is more like, it's literally like an Oreo, essentially. And they make maple Oreos as well.
Ew, gross. I'm just like not a maple dude. Mike, your feelings on maple before we talk about some bagels. You just maple in general or just syrup?
Yeah, I use a lot of syrup. Drowned my pancakes. Try to eat them before they get too soggy, but it's kind of inevitable.
Nice. I'm not a pancake guy, so. But anyway.
Waffles are better.
Yeah, waffles are better. Thank you.
Agreed.
You have seen the light, both of you. So let's talk about some games. What's everybody been playing? Jacob?
So I just ran through the new Doom, actually. It was a little bit of a change from Eternal, because I'm a big Doom fan, and I really enjoyed Eternal as well. But I ran through the Dark Ages and had an absolute blast playing that. Other than that, I've just been playing a little bit of Repo and Schedule 1 with some work friends, and just doing some Paper Mario randomizers as well on the side.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that, Mike. He loves Paper Mario like us.
Original one or Thousand Year Door?
I prefer the original one,
yes.
But I have a deep love for Thousand Year Door as well.
Very nice.
Well, how do you feel about Chapter 3 of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door? Specifically Chapter 3.
Chapter 3,
It's the fucking fighting ring one.
Yeah, it's Rock Hawk. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking about the answer because I know I want to be fair, but I also want to be honest. I like the way Chapter 3 is structured, but I don't necessarily enjoy a lot of the fodder fights that you have to go through. The actual story for the chapter is really good.
It's just WWE, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's just Vince McMahon being like, "Oh, I gotta stop that Triple H."
I started fucking like hating the game playing through that chapter. I agree the structure's good, but dude, there's like a literal 50 fights in that fucking thing just to do it, and I just wanted to quit the game, truthfully, but I made it out, and like the whole rest of the game was a joy after that.
Absolutely, honestly, I'm surprised you didn't stop at Boggly Woods.
I did enjoy Boggly Woods.
You did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't like...
I find it kind of a slog.
That's how I felt about 3, but my whole thing with, JRPGs like that, like turn-based, is I really just want to fight a whole bunch of badass bosses. I don't enjoy the constant fight of the lesser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's like the new Final Fantasies that are like, well, the remakes, the pixel remasters, where I can just hit like 5 times speed or whatever and just blow right through them. That's how I enjoy that.
I do the same thing as well.
Yeah. I've been playing Lunar, the Silver Star story, and that has that kind of setup thing with it as well. So
that's perfect.
Yeah, it's a fun... I never got to play those before, and then they came out with the remasters, and I've just been like pumping hours into the first one. I haven't started the second one yet, though.
Very nice. Yeah, I was hearing those copies were a little bit hard to get your hands on for a little bit there, but I have never played the Lunar game.
Well, I bought it digitally first, and then later, whenever they were like, "Hey, we're not going to be pieces of shit, and we're going to just make even more of these. Fuck all you scalpers." And then I was like, "Yeah, now I'm gonna buy a copy."
Perfect.
Which will be here in like 7 weeks.
Hey, at least you got it coming. That's fantastic.
I've been waiting for some Shantae game from Limited Run for just a little over a year now. So
wow, you get email updates from them at least?
Sometimes, not really. Like I've waited 2 years. I've waited 2 years, maybe more, for a game from them before. Like when the pandemic hit, it was 2.5 years, I think. And the longest outside of the pandemic, like a year and a half. So they're just not fast. But
makes sense. I suppose being, limited run.
Yeah, they wait for all the pre-orders and then make them all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know why it takes so long. It's just as bad as whenever I ordered Chained Echoes from First Press Games. They're the only ones making a physical copy for that game. I've been waiting since 2021, and I do get email updates.
Wow.
Yeah.
An incredibly long time to be waiting for a game.
Yeah, it was either 21 or 22, but they just sent out another update the other day, and at the beginning of this year, they sent us a free download of the game for Steam, so I just gave it to my buddy. Because I already beat it on Xbox, but I love the game so much I wanted it physical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, that's all I've been playing besides Final Fantasy Dimensions on my phone. It's just like Final Fantasy V. It's fun. Mike, what about you?
Just, the normal. Timberborn, Slay the Spire. I need to rearrange things to get back into crafting. That's mostly what I'm doing. Found this, wood carving of this, old dude. And, gonna strip the paint off that and repaint that. Then get back into 40K.
Hell yeah. Do you play 40K, Jacob? For some reason I thought you did.
I don't, but I've actually, when I was younger, I did play a little bit, in person. Not necessarily the game, but, the actual, with the models and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Blood Angels, and did a few demo games. It was pretty fun. Honestly, I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
I played Death Guard.
Yeah, we just got Tabletop Simulator, so he's been running skirmishes on that. But whenever I actually start, I'm just going to be using Thousand Suns. Pretty
very nice.
I don't know why we haven't done it yet. We've been planning it forever. So. But, is that all you guys have been playing then? Anything else you guys been doing?
Nope, not much, honestly. I've just been trying to work lots. I'm off this week, though, and just been waiting for my analog 3D to show up.
What is that?
That is the new analog console that they're coming out with. It is a FPGA gaming N64.
Nice, dude. Fucking
yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah, I remember whenever the Analog Pro or some shit, the handheld one when it was first released. What was that one called?
Well, I don't know why that's not the Analog Pocket.
Pocket. Yeah, is that the only other console they made, or what?
Nope, they have an Analog NT, I believe. I think it's called. They have one for. They have a few actually. I believe they got one for TurboGrafx and one for Super Nintendo. I believe one for Sega stuff. I could be wrong, but they have a few different products, and usually it takes a while for them to get them out and stuff. But it's always top quality stuff.
Oh, are they worth it? Would you say?
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Unless they do want to sponsor me, then But I would say, depending on what you're doing, they are worth it. There are many different ways to go about getting custom made consoles. depends on what you're doing. If you want a handheld, there's way more options. Like you could, put in your own, like original PCB, or you can, print a shell, do all these upgrades and stuff, or you can kind of just go with the pre-build off from somebody. But usually the analog products have like really, really top-notch quality parts in them. Screens are always really nice, really bright, good battery level and everything. So for the most part, yes, they are worth it, but they are on the little more of an expensive side. But then when you go to make a custom Game Boy anyways, they're usually fairly expensive. And they can get even more expensive than analog products.
Yeah, it's essentially like a badass Raspberry Pi kind of, right?
Essentially, yep.
Nice. Yeah, I thought about getting the Pocket, and I saw the price, and I was like, I will just play my Switch.
Yep. I mean, you're better if you do want something handheld like that. There are other companies that do them, like Abernic, even though I don't know if they're shipping to the States anymore, but they got some pretty cool products, and you can make your own custom Game Boy as well for pretty much almost close to the same cost. It just really depends on your preferences per se.
Hell yeah. Alright, let's talk
I'm looking at these. They look pretty slick. The Game Boys especially look really good.
Yeah.
I still think Mitch should get a Nintoaster, though.
A Nintoaster?
Yeah, it's
sweet.
The original Nintendo, but it's a toaster.
I would buy that. How much is it?
The Angry Video Game Nerd has one.
Yeah, it's sick.
Nice. I still remember for my wedding, I had an original toaster that everybody just signed instead of like a book.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. Everybody loved it. Well, let's talk about some Doom, guys. Jacob, you're a huge fan of Doom, as you said. Before we get into our specific Doom, let's talk about our experiences with other Doom games and what exactly is Doom.
For me, Doom, there's really only a few words to describe it, and that's rip and tear, my friend.
Nice, good plug. My first experience with Doom was fucking Doom VFR on the PlayStation VR, and that shit was like fucking super intense. I never got to finish it though because I think my gun died after sitting there not being used forever. Same thing with my wands, because I like picked up some other shit. But you like move in that game by teleporting with a beam that you shoot out of your gun. And you can do it as fast as you can pull the trigger. So you're just like constantly flying all over the place. So you turn, like you're in VR, so you're turning your body like 360, and you're just like fucking pointing this beam and you're just traveling. And then everything else is like, well, I have the gun controller, you don't need it, but the gun controller is dope as fuck for that game specifically. You just fucking shit up at like high ass speeds the whole time. Pretty sick.
That is really cool.
You always talk about Doom 2016, Mike. What is this game? Is the prequel, the Dark Ages that we're going to talk about today, is the prequel to that game. What made 2016 so popular and special? Because I remember it being really popular.
I think what happened was Doom originally was like a computer game, and it was just like balls to the wall action, and then it evolved to be more of a thematic type game, and it like Resident Evil style stuff, and 2016 was like come back to the original style where you're just a badass, music's fucking amazing, everything's real fast paced, gory as fuck. It's awesome.
Yeah, I really liked the remasters of 1 and 2. You can get them on Game Pass and everything. The fucking music's badass as fuck in that as well. And you're also flying like fast as shit, and that is like, were you always that fast in the originals, or is that just like a remaster thing?
I'm not exactly sure. Most of the things I remember about the original is that like you don't have to aim, you just kind of shoot in the general direction.
That is true.
And the little face that shows you how damaged you are.
Yeah, it doesn't do that in the Dark Ages, does it, Jacob? I know it has the face, but I don't think it shows your damage, does it?
So here's the cool thing about it. Dark Ages has a plethora of settings you can go through. And you can actually change your icon for that display to the original.
Oh, what the fuck? I'm definitely doing that whenever we're done with this episode, then, because I want to play some of it.
First thing I did.
Yeah, there is a bunch of settings that I also saw. Let's just fucking jump into it. Doom: The Dark Ages is a 2025 first-person shooter game developed by ID Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. It's the 8th entry. It's the prequel to Doom 2016, and it just takes more of a, it's a techno-medieval scene. Like, it's not exactly medieval, but it is. And with that comes these brutal weapons. You can get a shield with like a saw blade around it, and you can throw it and just fucking disc it into people. You get a flail, like spiky ball and a chain stick, you know? What other things can you get up in there? And what is your favorite?
Well, I don't want to necessarily spoil anything if you haven't heard of everything else, but there's some pretty gnarly weapons you get, and they're a little bit different from the other Doom games, I would say. And I'm very excited for you to kind of pick up a new one and then just kind of like see what you do with it.
Well, you're not going to spoil anything for me just because I don't really care. I just want to kill things and play the game. But okay. For the listeners, what else would you find in this game that is of the medieval age?
You're definitely going to come across another melee weapon. Maybe something a little bit bigger, a little more spikier. You might find a gun that shoots bone shards. There's quite a few different things in this game now, and I think that the biggest part to this game is actually just learning the flow of the combat, the parry system, and your quick weapon switches as well. You'll find lots of secrets. You'll find tons of platforming still, even though it has a little bit less than Eternal. You're still going to find yourself flying around at pretty high speeds and doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, there is... Alright, we'll talk about the settings. Like Jacob said, you can change that icon, apparently, which I now have to go find out. So there is a parry mechanic in this game. You'll see like a green light come out of an enemy if they're like shooting shit at you or if they're like swinging at you. It's always like a green light. And if you time your shield the right way, which you kind of have like a huge window for it, you can just smack it back to him and it hurts him real bad. And that's kind of like one of the big mechanics in the game that you do have to learn, along with now that setting thing. You can actually raise or lower the parry window, which is pretty cool if you want some like brutally hard shit. And whenever you are picking like a difficulty, they will come set with these specific like windows. Some of them are just straight. It's pretty much impossible to do it. And like I'm playing on ultraviolet, which is, would you say that's hard or very hard?
I would say for me that's like normal.
For you, yeah. For you.
Yeah, like there's two settings under it, right? Like Hurt Me Plenty, I feel like is more so still even story wise because like I played through that and then I played through the ultraviolet, and I feel like the ultraviolet is a nice, especially if you're good at these games, is a nice little median for enjoying the story, but then also having to worry about your combat decisions.
Yeah, unlike other Doom games that I've played where you can just run in and blast. This one, I find myself dying a lot more. Like, I'm playing on ultraviolet. You're a veteran, Jacob. I'm not. If you get hit like 3 or 4 times in ultraviolet, like you will die. Especially if it's a bigger enemy, you might get hit twice and die. Like those fucking Pinky Riders. The fucking monster that the fucking dude rides around. Yeah, if he bites you twice, it's over. But instead of being super fast paced and just blowing people around and shit, doing whatever you want, this is still has a good pace, but you're a little bit slower, and you really have to strategize everything that you do, like from which enemies to take out first, and what enemies to focus on parrying while taking these on. Like, you might want to just run around and take out all the little guys before you take on some big guys at all, even though the big guys will be trying to wreck your shit the whole time. So, you just gotta keep moving.
Yep. Essentially, yeah. So the first thing I did is I also changed the parry color so that it stood out a little bit more. I used light blue. I used hot pink. Just messed around with some of the settings, just some of the visuals, so it was a little bit easier for me. And you'll actually find you can go in and running and gunning and stuff. It just you have to get the flow correct. So if you're fighting like one of those pinkies or whatever, you kind of want to be making sure you're hitting your parries, taking a couple shots. But then usually I'll go around the map and then I'll kill all the fodder enemy if I'm low on health, and then usually that'll heal me up, and I'll go back in. If I fail a parry, and then I'll back away and I'll do it again. And it's kind of more Dark Souls-y at this point.
Yeah, you could definitely go in like that, but that's what I meant about the strategy or what. Like, there's a plasma rifle thing that takes out the dudes with the blue shields, and if you take out one of them when they're in a row, they all explode. Or like, what's another like special weak thing? Oh, normal shields, you would throw your shield at it to heat it up, so you could like melee it and blow it away.
Yes. You can also shoot the normal shield to heat them up with anything as well, and then throw your shield, and then they'll give you armor.
I did not know that.
Yes, you can shoot them. As long as they're heated, and you'll see a visual cue, it'll kind of like cinder, like you'll see like almost like a spark sort of, and then you'll be able to throw your shield, and you can use that as a better indicator.
Yeah, I feel like it's a kind of like a old Sonic level every fight in these big areas, because it's like you just gotta find the correct path to go through, and that's what I meant. Like when I would die, whenever I would come back, I'd be like, all right, I started with those guys and went through there and died. Now the second time I started with those guys, went through there, but I went a different way and took these guys out first. And like, eventually you'll get to the point where you're like, all right, I have a whole pathway planned out, and you'll just zip through doing everything in the right order that you are comfortable with. That's how I was doing it, and I thought that was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, there's definitely some more like kind of open-ish areas with a little bit more choice in like your travel. So there's, like I said, there's lots of, it's a Doom game, so there's lots of secrets still, and there's lots of challenges as well for usually every level, and it's definitely a fun time. I like that you can kind of carve your path, like you said.
Yeah, it has basically a skill tree kind of setup deal with it too. All your weapons you can upgrade, and that includes your shield and your melee gauntlet, as well as all of your guns. Definitely super fun that you can make a build. Like right now I'm working on a shield build. Like I'm just trying to completely max out my shield and then my melee.
Nice.
That way I can just like brutally beat shit to death.
Yeah, the first thing I did was max out the flail.
Nice. What does it do exactly?
So the flail, I believe it's been a week or so since I played the game, because I just kind of fed through 2 playthroughs. But you get when you fully upgrade it, you get like a 4th hit, and then you can kind of regen your melee through other things as well, and then you'll get health and armor per hit off of your flail hits as well. So usually, if you could parry, shield bash, hit them with like 4 different melees, shoot them in the head with the precision bolt, and a lot of things just kind of fall over.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a fucking beat 'em up sometimes, because you're just fucking in there railing on shit.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Hell yeah. The shield's super cool. Obviously, you parry with it. You can throw it at an enemy and stick it in that enemy, and while it's there just fucking chewing away, like, in their chest, you can, like, hold that bigger, more dangerous dude off while you're taking out all the fodder. There's a ton of fun strategy in this game.
I want to ask this question without necessarily you, like, saying the complete answer, but, like, for old Doom fans, is there, like, a lot of returning enemies? And because 2016, the last boss was, like, one of the bigger bad enemies, and that's the only one that appeared, and that was kind of disappointing to me.
You're going to be able to see a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't
some big-ass fights. You're talking about a robot, remember?
Yeah, there is a part in the game, I don't know how many times you do it, but I think it's level 3. It first happens, at least. You're in a giant Doom mech suit, and you're fighting titans, and, like, wrecking through cities and shit. Like, just fist fighting. And you get, like, a fucking giant, like, double fucking fed, like, railgun, basically. That shit's fucking so badass. Like, the satisfaction of parrying and beating the shit out of a titan is fucking unmet. Like, it's just immeasurable. I had so much fun.
You still get the parry mechanics when you get the kaiju fights. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Tell us about the dragon, Jacob. Because I am at the level where you get the dragon, but I haven't really fucked with it yet.
Just want to touch on the robot part real quick there. I did really enjoy that, and I would say it's not so much of a parry mechanic, more so like a dodge mechanic for the robot fights. But I thought those were okay, and kind of same with the dragon. So you're basically going to be using it as traversal. You have a little bit of freedom of what you do and where you go with the guy, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's not like a core part of the game. Same as it with like the giant robots, right? So like it's gonna be like a kind of a smaller part of the game, but there's gonna be, you're gonna be able to like find some secrets and, maybe do some challenges on the dragon as well. And, you'll kind of see it's a kind of a similar thing to the giant robot that you use. You'll have, you'll have your typical weaponry, and then you'll have a way to dodge per se. So it's not too bad, honestly. It's not something that I fully enjoyed. Like for me, it was like I kind of just wanted to get back to the ripping and the tearing. But yeah, it can be enjoyable for sure, and it is really cool when you first get on the thing.
Yeah, I did fuck that up. Yeah, there's definitely not a parry. It's like whenever he says dodge, it's like a timing thing, like the parry, but you dodge, like you sidestep, and you just like you are boxing a titan is what you're doing. And there are some that are armored the fuck up, and you gotta like you have to parry you have to like sidestep and do a whole bunch of shit to like knock their armor off and shit. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, the more you successfully sidestep, you get a bar, and you get like a few different abilities you can use as them as well. But I kind of noticed you can just literally just sidestep in absolutely any direction, even like towards him, like in front of him. As long as you're hitting that window, then it just counts you as dodging. So it's
really,
it's very yes, it's extremely forgiving. I literally would just dodge into them and just continue to attack and rinse and repeat. It was pretty easy, honestly.
Hell yeah. I died once whenever I first ran into the armored one, because I was like, wait, I'm supposed to press this in or fill this up, and I like missed one time, and he fucking knocked the shit out of me, like with some super stomp ability.
Especially in ultraviolence, yeah, they will do that.
Yeah. You do start out with the classic shotgun. Have you leveled that up all the way? Like, what exactly does that do?
The classic shotgun?
Yeah, the one whenever the first weapon you get. Like how Doom Guy always has the shotgun.
Yeah, you get the first regular shotgun. So like in Eternal, you would get like kind of like sticky ones and stuff. This one here, pretty much, it's very similar, except for you don't get the sticky grenades. You can load people up with incendiary rounds, and that will give you more armor. You can get like a tertiary barrel, so it shoots in threes and it shoots very fast. Very similar kind of style to the other Doom games as well, but it's still very, very reliable.
Yeah,
I always loved the super shotgun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was thinking of. Is it the super shotgun? Like,
no, that one's the regular shotgun. The super shotgun is similar, but you can make it fire faster. Like it'll reload faster or whatever. It doesn't have the chain like in Eternal, but it does get extremely powerful.
Fuck yeah. How would you compare this to the other Doom games? Like loved wise, like how much do you like this game compared to the others? You being like a long time Doom fan.
Like I grew up playing Doom 1, 2 stuff. I played a little bit of 64 and 2016 I touched on, and then when I first kind of like started really getting back into Doom, I started playing Eternal, and I personally, Eternal's up there is my favorite. And I think this one for me would be just at about the same level as 2016. And I hear a lot of mixed opinions and mixed reviews on it. But I truly believe that the story in this game, just the movement and how well it's made and how well the combat system is, and just how I like the Trail of Combat, I gotta put this like right at the same as 2016. This game is easily an 8 out of
10. Yeah, from start to finish, I never stopped having fun.
Yes.
I do hear a lot of people say this about it though, and I do agree. The music isn't as like heavy and crazy, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I mean, we all know what happened with Mick Gordon.
I do not. Please tell me and the listeners.
Okay, well, I don't want to get too into it because it is kind of touchy or whatever, but...
I don't even know who he is, so... Yeah.
Mick Gordon is he's an Australian composer, record producer. He's been in many, many metal bands. He's an excellent guitarist. He composed the whole entire soundtrack for Wolfenstein, The New Order, in 2014 as well. There was some stuff with him and ID making Doom Eternal and stuff. He wasn't fully paid for the music, apparently and allegedly. I don't want to make any false claims or anything, but there's a lot of really kind of crappy stuff that they had to deal with, and basically Mick was allegedly offered a 6-figure sum to stay silent, and they offered him a 6-figure gag order or something. Basically, he didn't get paid for it.
Allegedly.
And he did a really good job on... Yeah, allegedly. Sorry, allegedly. He didn't get paid for it, allegedly. But the music for Eternal, we all know, was amazing. Was top-notch. And I have to agree, I feel like the new guy did alright, but at the same time, I truly think that the music for Eternal was top-notch.
Yeah, see, whenever I was playing the remaster of the first Doom, like, those tracks are fucking insane. And these ones, like you said, like, I like them, but they seem more electronic and synth and, like, low heavy. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it's very bassy stuff. It's, it's not very, like, I feel like Eternal is more of like kind of almost like progressive. Like a lot of like poppy, kind of genty per se kind of stuff.
Genty is not a genre.
No, it's not, but it's more so it's describing a sound.
It's a great album though. By Periphery.
Absolutely.
Check that out, everybody.
Yes.
Crazy instrument.
Check out every album by Periphery.
Yeah. Which one's your favorite, just real quick?
Probably P2.
P2. I really like fucking Degen is not a genre. Like a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
That Wax Wings song is just like fucking so dope.
Oh, Wax Wings is great.
So you did bring up the story of the game. Please tell us the story, what this game's story is.
So you'll immediately kind of find yourself in, like you said, that medieval sort of setting. And then you'll notice that this kind of starts with the con makers. You're like, what are these guys doing here? And then to see that, Doom guy is trapped under the con makers' energy. So they have, I guess, some sort of field around him, and it makes him, basically complacent to whatever they want him to do. And as you go through, he starts getting more pissed off, and eventually breaks through, and basically gonna go fight a bigger, higher powered demon that's threatening the world. And it's pretty streamlined. Like, you're trying to find something, and when you find it, everything goes to shit. And then you have to essentially just beat your way through like hordes and hordes of demons, bosses, challenges. This I don't want to get too much into the story because I want people to kind of see it as it goes, but it's definitely really, really, really good.
Yeah, I just wondered if any of these groups of people, like you were saying, the con makers or whatever, are they in the other games, or are they just this?
They were in Eternal. There was a few bosses and stuff you would fight, and if you would actually fight the enemies, and you do kind of touch base with them as well in this game. But the con makers are a part of the other story.
I feel like I just need to play Doom Eternal from everything that you've said.
Honestly, it's basically like Doom, but with also Mario, because there's so much more platforming and moving around and stuff, but it's really fast. It's really fast paced as well. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I played through it multiple times. Played through the first DLC, which is free, by the way. They just gave the Ancient Gods 1 and 2 for free, because that's just what they do. The first one I played through was amazing. It was kind of like a similar vibe to this, where it was kind of not really medievally, but kind of olden style kind of building and architecture and stuff. Was definitely difficult. There were some enemies that were very frustrating and infuriating. I actually did not beat the second DLC because the end boss was just so difficult for just the sake of being difficult, and it wasn't even a get good type of deal thing. It was just I was not having fun anymore playing it. So I highly recommend the first DLC.
Yeah, fun little fact about Doom. Whenever Doom was first created, it was kind of just given away. People were encouraged to take this file and just share it among their friends and shit. And that was it upset a lot of people also because of the whole satanic panic thing. So it is fitting that they just give away the DLC. I thought that was a pretty fun.
Nice.
Huh? What was that?
Oh, I was just saying that is really nice of them. They always kind of give away DLCs and stuff like that. They also will give you if you have a PS4 copy of Doom Eternal and you stick it in your PS5 or something like that, they'll give you a free digital for PS5.
That's fucking sick. I'm gonna have to just play that game. Now, one final question. What is, unless Mike, do you have anything to add?
Not really.
Okay. What is Doom Guy? Who is Doom Guy? Does he have a backstory? Is he a robot? Is he a human? I know originally he was a human, right?
Yes.
So is he...
Like a Space Marine or some shit.
Yes, he's a pissed off Space Marine, basically.
Alright. Yeah, you do start out VFR in I think the whole thing actually takes place in a giant space station. And you're chopped in half and you're in a chassis. And that's why that's the explanation they give you to why you teleport around. You're in this futuristic chassis. It's goofy as fuck looking, but it definitely explains everything being the Space Marine and shit. I just never... I never knew if he was a robot or not after I started playing this game, because I'm like... Or if he's like something summoned from somewhere, because they talk about him in the game. Like, he is sent from the gods and all this other shit.
Yes, I think that's correct, because I believe he's technically just like an ancient warrior. And he's like thousands of years old. From kind of what I've gathered and what I've read about stuff.
Huh. Well then, that answers all my questions, I guess, about that.
Yeah. I like how the demons have like their mythos for him and shit too. It's like there's like towards the end of 2016 there was like logs of war just around the area. They talked about like how horrific his vengeance was and how swift and brutal it was.
Yeah. I was thinking about this before. Do you think that Master Chief is just straight ripped from Doom guy, like inspiration-wise? Like, green suit, gold visor, killing machine. Like you said, all the enemies have a mythos for him. The enemies in Halo have the mythos for Master Chief. Like, you know what I mean? It's very similar.
Yes. They both have voices in their head telling them what to do.
Oh, I didn't know Doom Guy had that.
I think so.
Yeah, because, like I said before, I haven't played a shit ton of Doom. I just know how the gameplay is. But,
you're definitely going to have a lot of fun with this one. Yeah, I think Master Chief probably took a little bit of inspiration from him.
Yeah.
I would say. Kind of looks like it.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever thought... I don't know why I like randomly thought that the other day and just was like, wait a minute. I'm on to something. Anything else you guys want to add at all to this episode?
No, I'm just excited to be here and happy to talk about one of my favorite games I've been playing, and yeah, I'm just really hoping people will kind of like go out and try it and enjoy it, right? Like it's on Game Pass. You can buy physicals, whatever your preference is. I've been playing it on Game Pass, and it's definitely worth playing. Honestly, it's something to kind of build your own experience, and if you really like Doom, you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I haven't been into shooters for a while, and this game brought back the love, like, all the way, like, right from the first fucking mission. So, very good game, I would say. So far
Absolutely.
for me.
Are you playing keyboard and mouse, or are you playing controller?
I can't play keyboard and mouse unless it's repo.
Oh, that's fair, yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I don't play anything keyboard and mouse, but I just so happened to kind of pick it up, and it was very easy to get used to.
Nice. I just flat finger everything and, like, hit every key that I'm not supposed to hit whenever I'm aiming for a specific key. So, I'm just awful at it. One day I just need I feel like I just need to go play, like, some slow-paced shooter game to get my fingers used to that kind of thing, like I did with Repo over time. I don't know. I was surprised I was able to play Repo the way I was doing it, though, after a while. Because after that one game that one night I played with you, I played with our other buddy, and, like, somehow my fingers just worked for it. But I can't do it on any other game. So.
Hey, you'd be surprised if you try, man. I'm the same way. I can't play anything, and I just happen to do it, and, like, in about, 30 minutes to an hour, it was like the keyboard and mouse was an extension of my arms. Like, it's a lot more fun with the mouse, honestly, because once you kind of get used to the mouse and then the movement, it feels a lot better than controller, like just actually moving your hand and arm around.
Nice. We gotta get you on for some N64 episodes, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'd love to do, like, some randomizers or something, or anything, really. I'm always down.
Yeah, I was...
What about Link's Awakening?
Link's Awakening, if you're in for it, Jacob.
Oh, that is a good one. That is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, that one should be coming up kind of soon. I was also thinking, like, Banjo-Kazooie, because I know you love that game, or some Donkey Kong 64.
if we do Donkey Kong 64, we got to do Tag Anywhere.
What is Tag Anywhere?
It's a ROM hack. It essentially allows you to change characters anywhere instead of going to a barrel.
Sounds good. You know, I think
it makes the game a lot more enjoyable for me, at least. I recently, within the last year or so, 101%ed it with that ROM hack in under 24 hours.
Yeah, that game is really fun, but that like going back and forth constantly bullshit is very taxing.
It is incredibly taxing, and that's why that ROM hack kind of saved my life, and it made the game actually really enjoyable. Kind of felt like I was playing like Banjo-Kazooie a little bit there.
Nice. I only recently, in the past like year, got into Banjo-Kazooie, and now I'm like, I don't usually 100% shit, but I've been trying on this one because I'm just having so much fun with it.
Oh yeah. Are you playing on the XBLA or are you playing on 64? Or?
I'm playing on the Switch emulator.
Oh, the Switch emulator. Gotcha. Nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about some shit at some point. Anything else you guys want to add before we go?
Ready to rip and tear.
Ready to rip and tear.
Shoot him in the face. That's like my favorite thing to do. Just walk up somebody with that super shotgun and blow them in half.
That thing really takes care of business.
We'll catch you later, guys.
Adios, muchachos.
Adios.